Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the 2017 LMS Summer Split Week 7 Day 2 action here coming at you. Our first series of the day is going to be between Fireball going up against Flash Wolves. Fireball, unfortunately for them, yet to pick up a series win. Flash Wolves, on the other hand, doing quite well sitting around the top of the table. Let's see what the bands coming are for these teams. Caitlyn so far taken away from the side of Flash Wolves. Pretty standard red side pick. Don't want to give that over to anybody. Very strong there in the bottom lane. They are going to take the Zac off the table as well. So standard red sign bans from Flash Wolf so far. Take a look to Fireball side. They are not unexpectedly, I should say, going to be targeting Maple there in the mid lane, taking away the power pick LeBlanc and Talia as well. Want to make sure he isn't able to take control of that mid lane and roam around to make plays. Of course, he has quite a decent champion pool, so I'm sure he'll be able to find a way anyways. They're going to take what they think is the most threat off the board, though. Thresh also taken away, so Sword Art going to be pulled off that playmaking support. He does love playing the playmaking supports. Sword Art thrives with those kind of champions. We'll see the last ban coming out for Flash Wolves. It will be the Nidalee ban, taking that away from Woolala. In the jungle, the Galio still available, and Fireball considering that one. Also hovering the Jace in the top lane there. Maybe going to be putting Nanuo onto the carry, but they're undecisive. As you can see, a little bit of smiles coming out of the side of Fireball. I really want to play the Jace though, coach. No, you lock in that Galio this instant. Oh, fine. He locks that one in. So it will be the Galio. Technically a flex pick, although basically always going to be seen in the mid lane. That one's going to be most likely onto Cuckoo. And Flash Wolf's going to be responding with the Kalista Elise combo. So already locking up a lot of CC potential. Karsa on that Elise. He loves that pick oh so much, and he's going to be grabbing it up once again. Be looking to take advantage and take control of the early game. Flash Wolf so far already, only with 2 picks showing, but still looking like they want to be playing around this early to mid game a lot and try to take over this game. Leave no room for error, as on the side of Fireballs, they might be looking to lock in their bot lane here. They got the Braum locked in already. Might be the jungler as well, though, and it will most likely be the Rek'Sai, and it will be. So locking up that defensive peel support in a way. Also offered some follow-up engage with the Braum ult. So it's going to be the Rek'Sai as well grabbed up, trying to counter a little bit of the early game pressure that'll be coming out from this Elise. And Maple going to go ahead and lock in the rest of the bot lane for Flash Wolves. Going to pick up the Rakan. So the Kalista Rakan combo coming in. Could be CC for days coming in. They definitely want to take the game into their own hands and make plays here. Not looking to wait too long. Should be an explosive game out of Flash Wolves, I'm sure. As we enter the second phase of bans, Flash Wolves is going to try to take away that late game carry. Off ends. Kog'Maw taken away. Corki with the respawn want to take Maple off that champion. Would be nice to have a little bit of late game insurance for the side of Flash Wolves, but not if Fireball has anything to say about it. Cassiopeia, a pick that is still open. Of course, Orianna would do quite well into this team comp as well for Flash Wolves. We'll see if Fireball continue to target the mid lane. Of course, Flash Wolves, assuming that the mid lane is already taken for Fireball, going to choose to prioritize the bot lane, taking away that another late game carry in the Xayah. She can do quite a scary amount of damage actually when she hits that late game phase, that triple crit item. We got a Sword Art fan in the audience there, showing some love for her favorite support. And it will be the Kled ban, rounding out all the bans coming out from Fireball. So targeting MMD a little bit there. Want to cut off that flanking potential coming in from the Kled in the top lane. Want to be able to buy as much time as possible. Flash Wolf is probably just going to take even more engage, though. They're going all in here, picking up the Jarvan in the top lane, so that just leaves. They're going to save their mid lane pick for last, which we see quite a few teams on the red side do, unless they have a priority that they want to pick up. So Maple will have the counter pick of his choice. Of course, most likely going to be Galio, but again, still can technically be flexed. Fireball going to pick up their 80 carry, it looks like here. Hovering that Varus. Going to offer them a little bit of engage from the bot lane, although they switch it up and take the Lucian. So question is that an 80 carry Lucian or a mid Lucian? Most likely going to be mid. But now I am very confused as we're getting a Fiora hover. I think I'm getting trolled here. So I'm going to just wait to see what they lock in. It should be an 80 carry lock-in. Or a top laner, I should say. Wait. Yes. It is going to be a top laner because it's an 80 carry Lucian. Fireball's trolling me till the last second. So it will be an 80 Lucian with Braum. And that's actually one of the classic strong matchups before Lucian fell out of the meta a little bit. People love to take that because he can proc the passive from Braum so easily. Get that 4th auto on and get the stun off. We'll see what Maple decides to take in the mid lane. Like I said, he loves that Cassiopeia and it is open. It's going to offer... I mean, Cassiopeia is a pretty good all-around pick just because her laning phase is actually pretty strong, especially into the Galio. She can actually shred him down pretty easily. And also, it offers a little bit of that late-game insurance. I don't think Flash Wolves will be looking to go late-game. If you can see their team composition, it's all about going in, finding these team fights, working around the vision, catching Fireball off guard. Meanwhile, Fireball have a bit of a playmaking team comp of their own. Maybe you're going to be looking to play around that top side of the map. Rumble is going to have a very big pushing advantage onto this Jarvan, so look to see these two teams. The junglers will probably be looking to pay a little bit of attention to the top side. Galio is going to be looking to survive the early laning phase, keep it pushed out, get 6, and maybe look to roam around the map. Comboing a bit, they might look to punish MMD this game on that top lane Jarvan and hope to shut him down that way. It's going to be a tall task, though. Flash Wolves, of course, a very high-caliber team in the LMS for a long time here. Going to keep control of one of their top spots. As you see, the coaches shake hands and exit stage left and or right. So you can see the team compositions on your screen here. They're all locked in. We're ready to go. We'll be jumping into game just in time to see all the masteries. A very wide variety of colors on your screen right now. A lot of different masteries being taken actually here. It will be, it looks like a quote-unquote solo queue leash here from Fireball on the bottom side, just having your duo lane help you out with your first buff. Meanwhile, Karsa going to go ahead and start the red buff on the top side. Looks like Rumble did spot that one out. He will notice MMD coming a little bit late back to lane, and this will mean Flash Wolves have the push advantage in the bot side. This Kalista Rakan lane should do well on this matchup. Depends how well Fireball can play it, although they will be on the back foot here for a little while. That's the cost of helping out your jungler, but Wulala gonna have a nice little start on the Rek'Sai. He definitely wants to get these lanes going early on, especially that top lane. It's going to be pretty key in Fireball if they want to win this matchup. Shutting down the one actual tank that Flash Wolves has will actually prevent them from being able to force these fights as often as they might want to. So we will see how that one plays out. As you might expect, Flash Wolves getting the push advantage here. And early gank here from Wulala went double buffs and just goes straight onto MMD. The flash comes forward from both members of Fireball. They will pick up the first blood. That one goes over to Ninuo on the Rumble. Crucial. And as I said, they might look to target him, and they definitely will look to target him. And MMD not really respecting the quick double buff take and how fast he can actually show up. He showed up just before 3 minutes there. Usually you see the top laners at around just over 3 minutes throw the ward down to try to prevent the gank. Wulala with some fast feet there on the Rek'Sai, if you can call them feet. Able to get up to the top side. Catch him off guard. Speaking of catching somebody off guard, Cuckoo might be in trouble here. Might have to burn flash. He does indeed sword out with a grand entrance. Gonna go fall just short. But they do force the summoner out of the Galio in the mid lane, and that might open up a chance for a return gank coming out of Karsa here. Just like Fireball want to get this Rumble going, Flash Wolves, as always, want to get Maple going, especially on this Cassiopeia. If they can make him be able to put pressure onto the Galio, it really limits the playmaking capabilities coming out of this Fireball team. Of course, they might be looking to play a lot around this mid lane Galio when he hits his ult. Meanwhile, in the top lane, continuing to try to punish MMD here. I think his combo is actually down right now. He's in a lot of trouble. No flashes to follow, but he doesn't have a flash to get him away himself. He's waiting on cooldowns. He gets it, but it is far too late. Wulala picks up another kill in the top lane. 0-2-0 on this Jarvan. And Fireball so far doing a good job playing to their win condition. Really want to get this Rumble going and shut down MMD on this tank. But here's the return gank coming out of Flash Wolves. Looking to play to their own win condition. Looking for the stun. It does land. Will they have the damage though? They will, of course. Maple doing so much on that Cassiopeia. They strike back in the mid lane. Flash Wolves getting themselves on the board. Beautiful job with the return gank. That is going to mean they push into tower as well. So Cuckoo gonna have to burn that TP when he gets back up. See smiles on the face of Karsa there. He is happy about that gank. Really wanted to make that work for himself. Maple gonna go ahead and recall, drops a ward there. Got that tier and the Dark Seal for himself. Gonna be looking to stack that one up. Cuckoo returning here. A little bit sheepish after giving up that kill. And as you might expect, this Kalista Recon bot lane keeping up the aggression. Actually does open up, as you can see, the Elise was basically had complete control of that bottom side thanks to the bottom lane priority that they had. It's hard to contest when your bottom lane is being pushed in 24/7. First dragon is going to be that Infernal. So look for Flash Wolves to place huge priority on this. I'm not sure Fireball actually would want to contest this one. Flash Wolves might just wait until they have a decent opportunity. Sometimes you don't want to risk it even if you do have the better composition at this point. Cuckoo actually so scared of the potential of getting ganked again, he's going to go ahead and take the Raptors. As you can see, he does not have a lot of vision. Flash is going to be still down for a decent amount of time. Control Ward will spot out Karsa. He's going to clear that one up, but as you can see, he's really wanting to get Maple going onto this pick. MMD going to have to do his best to survive. Ulala also being spotted out by Control Ward, so these junglers not shy about showing their hands and what they want to do here. It's kind of funny how it's playing out, actually. They're both just trying to pound down their winning lanes right now. Karsa might make the first attempt to try to help his top laner out here. Definitely don't want the dive to come out, of course. Ninuo, thanks to all the zoning that he's been doing onto MMD, has hit 6 before. That is a real opportunity for a dive, and here it is. Equalizer gets dropped, doing a good bit of damage, but Wulala might have went in a bit too early. MMD, though, is the first to drop. Nice ult coming down. Cuckoo showing up when it counts, hits that 6 on Galio and able to make the play. That's what you want to see out of Fireball, playing to their win conditions, using those ultimates so intelligently, and they're able to pick up 2 kills in the top lane, and they're going to secure first Blood Tower. And would you know it, Fireball, with a very impressive start to this game so far, managed to pull up a 2,000 gold lead only 7 minutes in. The underdogs in this matchup showing up huge so far. Flash Wolves definitely on the back foot, maybe caught a little off guard by how well Fireball's playing this early game so far. I want to give a lot of credit to Wulala and Ninuo, of course. Karsa going to go ahead and secure his red buff, at least for himself. Try to regroup after that bit of a miscall. And speaking of miscalls, MMD might have gone a bit too deep again. Does have to force Flash. He will get away. They might look to turn this one around, actually. Cassiopeia will have the roam advantage. And they've brought Sword Art up as well. No Flash on Wulala, so they might be able to close in on him. They get the Cocoon and a bit of damage, but they're going to call off the play for now. A little bit too far for them to want to go. Maple says, I'd rather stay here and farm and spit on this Galio over and over. As you can see, if that Cassio gets ahead, she is very scary, so Flash Wolves definitely still have a lot of opportunities in this game. They just have to make sure they slow down the pace a bit on the top side especially, and work around the rest of the map where they are actually stronger. Fireball, of course, looking to abuse this advantage, actually rotate the Rumble down. He has Equalizer up yet again. No Flash, though. They're using the push in the top lane to their advantage to try to get some plays around the map going. Nothing is going to happen, though. They don't really spot anything they want to go in on. Rumble will return to the top lane. Flash Wolves continuing the aggression in the bot lane. As we take a look at the CS leads, surprisingly, MMD actually doing a decent job keeping up in farm here. Seems like Ninuo has been spending most of his time trying to zone and less farming. Actually, Flash Wolves across the board pretty much have a CS lead, mid lane and... Actually, just the mid lane. Bot lane's actually pretty even here. Even though Flash Wolves have had most of the pressure lead, Ends and Skull doing a good job. At least farming under tower so far here. The gold lead is just going to be coming from those 3 kills. Flash Wolves, like I said, a little bit on the back foot right now. They definitely still have a lot of options, especially since Kalista has that ultimate now. As soon as Sword Art hits it, they may look to play around the Kalista ult here if they bring Karsa down. Especially, MMD does have the TP, Ninuo not up just quite yet. They're actually bringing him down early here, maybe looking to try to make a play onto this dragon. Ward is going to get spotted. Maple going to face check a bit here, might get caught out. Wulala doesn't quite feel confident enough to go through with that knockup. Probably a good idea because Karsa was hanging in their wings. Speaking of Flash Wolves with the mid jungle combo, moving in here, trying to get control, blind Fireball away from this dragon and maybe look to make a play on it. They do have the Callista for the extra objective control, of course. And it's something I didn't touch on quite with this Flash Wolves comp. They actually have really good objective taking as far as dragons and barons goes. So Fireball is going to be very careful to not give up vision for too long, or else they will get absolutely deleted. They got Callista, Elise, and the Cassiopeia, who will absolutely delete these objectives. It looks like the call from Fireball is to sacrifice this dragon in order to get some farm and some experience and some push on in these waves. But either way, great job by Flash Wolves using the strong side of their map to their advantage, grabbing up the objective here. No trades so far coming in, but you might look to see Rek'Sai take that Rift Herald now, working around his strong side of the map. See MMD here pushed in very heavily still on this Jarvan. 0-3-0. He has been struggling so far. There is the Rift Herald start here from Woolala. Not likely that Flash Wolves will want to contest this one, but if they're feeling confident enough, you may see it. I'm pretty sure they're happy with what they have so far, though. It's just going to be the trade, Infernal Drake, for the Rift Herald. It's debatable to say which is better. I'd say Rift Herald, especially since Flash Wolves has a very heavy damage team comp. They're going to be benefiting from those stats even more. Rift Herald is more of an investment, a riskier investment, I should say, because sometimes you get absolutely nothing off of that. And if you're behind, the Rift Herald usually just end up being wasted. It's similar to the Mountain Drake, where if you're behind, it's actually not really that useful. Similar to Mountain Drake, because you're not going to really able to be taking objectives aggressively, so having something that helps you take objectives is sometimes not the greatest thing to have. As you can see, completely blinded our Fireball from this river area. They don't really have to walk in here anytime soon, though, so unfortunately for Cuckoo, he is continuing to have to try to find farm elsewhere than the mid lane. He is very scared of Maple at this point. Maple even bringing the cleanse to make sure he can really give chase even more and make sure he doesn't get locked down. Growing that CS lead even more in the mid lane, pretty much even across the board. Other than that, though, this is top side that is really showing up so far for Fireball. Flash Wolves doing a good job, though, slowing down the pace, like I mentioned, around that top side. Cuckoo stepping forward and Maple immediately going on to him. And Maple able to play us so aggressively here, I should mention, because there has been a lot of mid lane focus from Karsa. Been able to get some really good vision, as well as a few roams, actually, from Sword Art. So they're able to keep their mid laners nice and safe, so he's able to play so aggressively. And since Woolala knows they would lose a 2v2, he can't really bother coming and helping out too much. The Galio, of course, just looking to survive this lane and get tanky, make plays around the map with his ultimate. You already saw it once successfully in the top side. I really want to see Fireball try to do that again. Maybe try to play around this Cassiopeia. So far, though, they haven't quite been able to find an opportunity. About 13 minutes into this one, still a decent gold lead from Fireball, although it just seems like they're on the defensive on basically most sides of the map. They got two losing lanes right now, especially in terms of pressure. It's really that top side, the only one, and they may look like a play on it, actually. Willala is in the area, and Karsa has shown in the bot side they will go ahead and take the tower. So 1-1 in towers now, but it is the Rift Herald play in the top side, and there's no way that Flash Wolves are going to be able to respond to this. So it's actually a pretty good trade here from Fireball. Taking a tier 2 for a tier 3 tower, always going to be worthwhile. Using that Rift Herald to their advantage so far. Going to look to put MMD even further behind on this Jarvan. Maple spotting out Cuckoo, trying to take those Raptors. Nice red steel coming down from Woolala. Ninuo hanging in the area just in case he is needed. Continue taking over this top side. As you can see, these teams have basically just traded sides of the map. Bot side completely belonging to Flash Wolves, top side, as of now, completely belonging to Fireball, but it looks like Flash Wolves try to make a play to take it back here. Actually, the engage goes down. They want the fight. Galio coming down. Nice Unbreakable to avoid the damage. Nice knock-up. Fate's Call, though, is going to bring him back in. Equalizer doesn't really do anything, and Betty's able to strike first in this fight, taking down the huge Rumble, and this is disastrous for Fireball. 2 for 1 so far. Karsa giving his life for the cause, but the chase is still on. Cuckoo does not have flash. They're looking to turn it around, though, before they can regroup. Betty backing off nicely. MMD flash. Here's the re-engage coming. All the CC going down. Rek'Sai ult to buy some time, but it will not be enough. That is a 4 for 1 teamfight win for Flash Wolves. Catching Fireball completely off guard. They do have such a good teamfighting comp, though. Flash Fireball, sorry, has to be very careful at all times, and they do not respect it. They overstay their welcome. They've already gotten all the objectives. There's no reason to stay that long. And unfortunately for them, they give over a few. As we take a look at this replay, they're just immediately trying to target where most of the gold is actually right now. And Fireball does a good job, actually, of returning the damage. Unfortunately for them, Maple is able to basically go untouched in this fight. And they're a bit too split up for their liking there. The Rek'Sai as well was on the wrong side of the fight, trying to pick up a kill. And the Equalizer, crucially, from the most fed member, did absolutely nothing in that fight. They were not able to get the fight they wanted because Flash was engaged so decisively. And I think that's the major reason why Flash was able to walk away with a huge victory there. Also, Maple on this Cassiopeia is an absolute monster right now. Fireball all of a sudden getting a reality check there a little bit. Gold lead has all of a sudden shrunk to just under 1,000. Maple on this Cassiopeia pulling out to an absolutely massive CS lead. Got 3 kills to his name as well. Kalista able to pick up 2 in that fight. He's got the Blade of the Ruin King. And at this point of the game, Flash Wolves have such an advantage, especially with the team comp that they drafted. Look for them to absolutely start taking over this map. They're going to rotate the bot lane to the top side because that's where the objective is that they want to take. And interestingly, Enz is still on this bot side. I'm not sure what Fireball is thinking right now. They're just going to pretty much give away this top tower for free. They're looking to trade, I guess, actually. They figure that they can't win a fight like that, so they're just going to look for the trade. A tempo advantage, though, to Flash Wolves. Going to be able to take down this tower relatively quickly here. And Flash Wolves looks like they're conjugating the mid lane. MMD knows that he can't be bot lane at the moment alone right now. Probably will get dove, so he's just going to let that tower go. It's going to be a trade of towers. It's going to be 3-2 now. It's still in favor of Fireball. Of course, all those kills going back over to Flash Wolves, as well as the CS leads. They just have so much pressure. And they are now looking to take over this top side of the map because they want this mid tower. They want it bad. Cuckoo is pretty tanky on that Galio. Going to have to be a bit careful. I don't think Flash Wolves have very much priority placed on that Cloud Drake, which is why you're seeing it being given over pretty free here. They have no interest in that right now. They're going to be looking to push in these top and mid waves simultaneously and then rotate in between them, trying to catch Fireball out in a bad rotation. Betty feeling pretty safe on this Kalista right now. He's got Sword Art in his back pocket just in case something goes wrong. As you can see the vision right now for Fireball, barren is a word I would use to describe it. Whereas Flash Wolves have that top side lit up like a Christmas tree. Maple paying some respect right now, just waiting for his team. Obviously they regrouped to buy some items and restock on vision. As you can see, control wards across the board. I love to see this from Flash Wolves. Get all the control wards, move back into the objectives you want to take, and just completely take control of the area. Fireball, they can win a fight if they can get the right one, but they're going to need to move in as a unit here and try to get some control back. Try not to let Flash Wolves completely push them off their jungle here. Looks like there might be a bit of a catch onto Skull on that Braum. And like I said, he was doing one half of what I mentioned in trying to get some control back. Unfortunately, they weren't grouped up at all, and he's going to pay the price getting caught out by Maple. That's another kill over the Cassiopeia, and those are the kills you cannot give over if you're wanting to make a comeback here. And this should be a pretty easy mid-tower take as soon as the next minion wave comes along. No TP for Cuckoo, as he just used it to get back to the mid lane there. Flash Wolves definitely looking to knock down this mid-tower next. Fireball looking to catch them out a little bit here, though. Equalizer goes down. Here's the Galio ult trying to get the knock-up. Sword Art disengaging nicely so far, and that's the kind of fight you want to try to get if you're Fireball. Got to use those ults wisely. Play around the powerful points. Unfortunately for them, Flash was able to disengage with pretty much ease. Baron buff spawning in a minute, and like I said, Flash Wolves has an extremely potent Baron taking team composition with that Blade of the Ruin King Kalista and the Cassiopeia and the Elise. The list goes on. I mean, if you want to get super technical about it, the Jarvan flag's even going to add a little bit of damage. So what this means basically is that Fireball is going to have to be extra careful when giving up Baron control, especially the vision aspect, for too long. Because if they're blinded for too long, it's oh so easy for Flash Wolves to go in there and steal it. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, we've got a bit of a duel. MMD liking his chances now that he's got the Elise in his back pocket. Karsa with the repel, trying to buy some distance. Flash Cocoon, and that is a failed flash from Ninuo. Doesn't quite get over the wall, as you can see on the screen. He's having a little chuckle to himself. He knows he face planted there. He done messed up, and that's another kill going over the side of Flash Wolves. And it is not looking good for Fireball right now. They're losing on all sides of the map right now. And all of a sudden, MMD, as you saw, even taking fights here with this Rumble and winning out, he's able to get the CS advantage back in this lane because of all the pressure Flash Wolves have. Ninuo struggling to keep his lead going. Of course, all the kills as well going over to Rek'Sai. He got caught out as well, his fair share of times. Flash Wolves probably going to be looking to take this Infernal Drake next. Fireball doing their best to take the opportunity with the recall timings of Flash Wolves to get in here and get some vision control of this area. They know that if they leave it off the map for too long, it will be taken from right under their nose. Been getting some deep vision down. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to last for too long. Cocoon just not going to land on Wulala, and Fireball will scurry on back here. They do get a little bit of a push going in the mid lane, but it's looking dire for them. I really don't see a realistic way Fireball gets back into this one unless Flash Wolves really botch and engage, and Fireball are able to re-engage really nicely with a Braum ult and Rumble ult combo. That can be very potent if they time the Galio ult as well on top of it. Fortunately for them, you usually want to pair Galio with something that can dive in and have that kind of dive buddy combo. It's traditionally seen a lot with the Jarvan especially. You get in there and you make the enemy team focus your tank, and then you make him even tankier by dropping the Galio ult on top. And that's when your damage dealers can really get in there. Might look to go aggressive onto Ninuo on this Rumble. He does not have Flash. Karsa actually taking the long way around. It's going to end up costing them the kill actually there. He didn't want to go straight to the tower, so he's going to avoid that one. Unbreakable is buying his skull a little bit of time here, but it's not even going to nearly be enough as Betty stacks about 1 billion Rens into him and just takes it out. That's going to be another kill going over to the side of Flash Wolves. 8-5 now. Pulled themselves up to a 2,000 gold lead. And now with that pick onto Skull, they are taking back control of this Baron area. And like I said, they may look even started up. Look how fast it's going down. It is absolutely insane. Blue Trinket's going to spot it out. And the TP comes down. Flash Wolves immediately turn. Maybe a little too preemptive there as the TP gets canceled. But they really want this fight. Fate's Call is going to knock up the Galio here. He flashes the wall. Good disengage here by Fireball. They're at least able to stop the Baron for now. They had to burn a few summoners to do so, though. Teleport and Flash being burned. Cuckoo is going to have his teleport back up, so they'll at least have some chance at holding off the side waves while maintaining a little bit of Baron pressure, but not that much. Speaking of Baron pressure, actually, the desperation call out of Fireball. This is an interesting play. The recalls actually weren't completed for Flash Wolves, so they're still in the area. And unlike Flash Wolves, Fireball do not have the greatest Baron taking team comp. And they will be pushed off with ease here from Flash Wolves, who now have the inside track on the mid lane thanks to this play. And they may just look to take down this tower. Equalizer is up if they want to try and thwart them from going in, but it's Wulala caught out on the Rek'Sai, forced to flash, tunnel over the wall. And there's the Equalizer actually from Ninuo and the Braum ult as well. And that is not what you want to see, how you want to see them used. Unfortunate there. Wasted completely, and now Flash Wolves are pretty confident here to push forward. They're going to back off for now, though. They realize they can't probably take this tower too easily, and they're going to peel back and take the even more free objective. The Infernal Drake's going to go over. That's going to be 2 Infernal Drakes to the side of Flash Wolves now, which is a very scary thought if you're a Fireball fan, giving that composition 2 Fire Drakes. So Fireball, I like the idea of the Desperation Baron call. Unfortunately, the Flash Wolves recalls hadn't actually gone through yet, so the idea was sound, the execution not so much. MMD looking to engage onto this one. Galio being dropped onto the Rek'Sai here, trying to buy some time for him to go in. Cuckoo all alone, though, and on the top side, that's a 3-man knockup coming out from Sword Art. Does Betty have the damage, though? They're kind of isolated here. He does not, and he goes down. Flash forward from Ends. That's a double kill going over to the Lucian, and this is the botched engage I was talking about. And a very good re-engage here. Maple, though, doing so much work on this Cassiopeia, they might just be too far ahead for it to matter. MMD trying to get away. He goes down. Cuckoo is probably going to follow, though. Maple able to pick up this one. Overall, I believe that's a 3 for 2. So, Fireball with the advantage in that fight, and that's really good for them. If you're the rule of thumb is if you're behind, you'd like to trade evenly, but if you actually get a lead off of it, that's even better. So they're finding themselves only 2k gold now. Still very far behind in the grand scheme of things, but that's what you want to see. That's how Fireball have to get back into this gauge. They've fallen so far behind that they're just going to have to rely kind of on Flash Wolves making these misplays. As you can see, this fight gets broken up into 2 areas, and that's actually a really good galley walt, and 3 members kind of turn onto the Cuckoo. They have really no chance to kill him, though. I would have liked to see Flash Wolves regroup around that Baron area. The 2 bottom laners getting a bit over antsy with the 3-man knockup. They didn't quite have the damage. They get turned around on. Unfortunately for Fireball, they took quite a bit of damage on that topside fight, and Maple went completely untouched, and he is a monster, quite literally, on this Cassiopeia. A mythical monster, to be exact. Cuckoo going to burn the TP here in the mid lane, try to exert some pressure onto this Baron area. Don't have quite all of their ults up just yet. The Equalizer is up, though, which is probably their main team fighting tool here. MMD is in the bot lane. He does have TP up, though. Fireball just looking to take control of this area. They're feeling pretty confident after winning that last fight. Probably don't want to feel too confident, though. As Baron aggroes, they're going to have to actually back off of this one. Unless they decide to keep on to it. Flash Wolves have a lot of vision of this, and I'm not sure this is the correct play for Fireball. Not sure what they're doing here. They're just kind of middling around the Baron area, taking damage and losing out on a lot of free minion farm. As the middle lane tier 2 tower is going to go down for Flash Wolves. Questionable play here from Fireball. It seems like they're a bit at a loss from what to do. And now all of a sudden Flash Wolves have control of this area. Fireball kind of sticking around, kind of not. They have the TP onto Ninuo, so if he wants to recall, that's fine. The Baron does get started up here from Flash Wolves, and they got to be careful of how fast this drops. Nice miasma actually blocking them off. Equalizer going to do a good bit of damage onto Karsa, but that's pretty much it. MMD going in. Here comes the Redemption trying to reset this fight here for Flash Wolves. They may look to re-engage here. They do. Woolala gets absolutely obliterated. Cuckoo now is going to be abandoned by his team. He's got about 1 billion Ren stacks. That is a sad sight. He goes in, sacrifices his life. That's going to be 2 more kills over to the side of Flash Wolves. No smite contestation coming down. Not that it would be possible with the Ren stacks. Look how fast that Baron goes down. It is disgusting. Flash Wolves playing that fight so well. They're baiting in Fireball. It's kind of like watching something about a baby getting candy taken away. You know the saying. En's going to pick up a consolation red buff, at least for himself there. All of a sudden now, a pretty disgusting gold lead coming out of Flash Wolves. If we take a look at this replay, at this point they know that they've kind of burned a lot of the cooldowns, and they're just looking to force the fight because they know they can win it, and they play it super well. They wait for the Unbreakable, of course. They just basically burst through it, and they get the Redemption off. And as soon as they do, they're basically all back to full HP. Maple doing such a good job zoning off pretty much everybody. And the front line from Fireball trying to be a front line, but unfortunately they are about as squishy as a back line in comparison to the Flash Wolves damage dealers right now. So relatively easy for them to just burst through them. No chance for Fireball to get in there and contest. So that's going to be Baron now. Side of Flash Wolves. Fireball looking to maybe catch Sword Art out, but it might be the opposite. Skull tries to land the Frostbite onto Betty. Not quite going to make the distance, though, so a little bit of desperation play coming out of Fireball. They're realizing they're losing this game super hard, trying to find some picks. Probably would be their only way back into this game, other than Flash Wolves completely botching an engage, is to just find some like surprise picks while Flash Wolves is trying to maybe cockily get some extra vision. Fortunately, not going to take as Flash Wolves move aggressively onto this tier 2 tower. Very hard to defend this one because there is the option of the flank coming through. Karsa positioning there aggressively, as you can see on that Elise, not Kalista. Kalista is the one pounding away on Cuckoo right now. MMD even starting to take over this matchup. He's 3 levels ahead on this Rumble. And what started so well for Nino all of a sudden is a living nightmare. Maple going to roam down to help his top lane. And they're going to take that tower as well. 2 towers already picked up on the side of Flash Wolves with this Baron. 6-3 now, towers. Almost a 10k gold lead opened up here for Flash Wolves. And they are playing this comp so far very nicely. This is exactly what you want to see if you're them. Playing around their strong side. They struggled a little bit in the top lane, but they were able to slow the pace down very beautifully. It seemed like Fireball knew what they wanted to do exactly. Now it is the base towers that are under attack. Flash Wolves 4 members strong here in the mid lane. Betty absolutely obliterating that tower. Looks like the desperation engage trying to come out here And the Equalizer, Braum, all is just going to be walked away from Flash Wolves, playing these fights so well so far. Sword Art going in on the re-engage. Braum dropping so low. He's going to go down to Maple, picks up that one. Fireballs just absolutely have to disengage from this one. They have no chance here. Knockup lands onto Cuckoo. He's going to go down. Inhibitor soon to follow. They may just look to finish this game off. They're going to have a new wave of minions coming through here. They have no mid laner, no support. And here comes the last Baron wave. Flash forward from Maple just for style points. Just screaming at Fireball to stay away. If you value your lives, don't come any closer. Flash forward from Karsa as well. They're looking for the style points. Nexus towers are going to drop. Now the Nexus goes down. Game 1 decisively going over to Flash Wolves, able to play out their team compositions much better than Fireball, unfortunately for them. GG, well played to Flash Wolves. Should be an interesting game 2. I would like to see some changes out of Fireball's team composition. Maybe make it a bit easier on themselves. We will see what it comes to. We'll see you in a little bit for game 2.